dry world was raising and lowering water levels, it's a bit untouchable. Those who didn't skip this stage entirely will find that there's actually one more area left to discover. The town. Moving through the cage at the corner of Wet Dry World leads to an abandoned town with somewhat decent detail. The windows are interestingly more worked on than the rest of the buildings, and the trees seem to have their own plots of soil. Effort was put to make this small village seem as if it had life in a previous time. The fear of deep water, the eeriness of an empty town, the mystery of what happened here, and theories that could be formed by a deeper story involving the town and its history. Wet Dry World is a perfect mess of mystery and simple off-putting that Super Mario 64 is well known for. In the end, Super Mario 64 simply feels like from the large castle that lacks a central buildings with bedrooms and kitchens, to a series of floating worlds accessible through paintings. While imaginative on the outside, this sets an unsettling tone that something more is beyond what we can see. When you combine this with large-scale empty rooms, your mind starts to wander and play tricks. Similar to situations like being in school after hours or visiting an abandoned building. The lack of mainstream internet led to many theories being accepted as true, and what followed was many people adapting to a what-if mindset, like Super Mario 64. I hope you enjoyed it. This video took a considerable amount of time to write and edit, so I'd appreciate it graciously if you could leave a like. If you want to watch more Nintendo mysteries and eerie secrets and games, feel free to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thank you, and I hope to see you all next time.
What did you find when you lost the weight?
I smiled. I found I can eat, really eat. Jenny just makes it simple. Simple. Learn how to get a free week of food with purchase. Jenny Craig, lose the weight. Like yourself.
The reason why I want to remain anonymous is the fear.
Anywhere you name it, there's a Church of the Light of the World, one of the largest religious cults of our time.
The church has one leader, the apostle.
There have been 3 apostles with 3 generations of abuse. He hid me until I fell.
No, that is mercy for anything he wanted. This has to stop. I want to be a voice for all the other little girls.
This is Smart Pizza, and in today's hour-long episode, I'll show you the rarest and most unusual animals you didn't know existed. In this compilation, you'll see incredible mutants, hybrid animals, an 8-legged goat and a 2-faced cat, a buffalo crocodile, and an unknown creature that resembles the Eye of Sauron. I'll also tell you about the creepy creatures found in Chernobyl and show you rare footage of tiny octopuses, crocodiles, and antelopes. These abnormal animals are worth a look. Let's go. Two-faced cat. Many pets of any of us would fit this characteristic. because our cats are sometimes very sweet and kind, but sometimes they show all their aggressive character and make us nervous. Nevertheless, there is a specific case of a two-faced cat in the literal sense of the word. That is Frank and Louie, a cat with two personalities living in his body. The first, the one that's Frank, sees with only one eye. The other, Louie, can't purr. Despite such an unusual and creepy mutation, the cat lived a record-breaking 15 years. How did it happen at all that the cat ended up with two faces? Well, the owner gives the following answer in this question. These cats were victims of a cruel chromosomal mutation called diprosopus, which literally means two-faced in Greek. Usually, such individuals died quickly, but Frank and Louie were lucky. They turned out to have one functioning brain, which divided the duties between the cats. Also, the cat ended up with only one working mouth and, as a consequence, a common esophagus. Of course, the owner of this creature also brought great benefits for their survival. In fact, we have an example of a story that demonstrates what can be achieved in an alliance between a human and an animal, reinforced by the fortitude of both participants. Eight-legged goat. She was born in northeastern Croatia. As soon as she was born, the farm owner immediately noticed this mutation. He thought he was feeling unwell and asked a neighbor to count the goat's legs. When the second man said the same thing, the man's fears were confirmed. According to doctors, it was due to some kind of underdevelopment of the goat. Despite the cute appearance it still had, the situation was unfavorable. The most dangerous thing in this case was to survive the first week. If all is well, after that, there are chances of living a few more years, or even more. However, there's no way to know the end of the story, because there's no information about the goat's fate. You know, usually I have a positive attitude, but here, seeing how the goat's not just barely on her feet, but just barely lying down, I think things are bad. Croco buffalo. This creature was called something like that when it was first spotted in Thailand.
It is. Oh, that's not very nice. It's just a donkey.
Of course, I've heard a lot about that country in Asia with its rich culture and stuff, but not to this extent. This creature has scaly skin like a reptile and a head like a crocodile. Nevertheless, if eyewitnesses are to be believed, we're looking at a baby buffalo. The birth of such a strange creature raises many questions, and none of the scientists have answers to. How could the creature come from a buffalo and have scales with an elongated snout? It's unclear. In any case, the inhabitants of the village where the creature was found hope that it will bring them happiness and good luck. Now, that's what I call the right attitude. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everyone knows this actor and award-winning bodybuilder, but if this man is a star among humans, this dog is a kind of Schwarzenegger of the animal world. You're looking at Big Wendy, a dog whose appearance is very far from the long, thin members of the hound dog breed. This dog was born with a genetic disorder that made her look like an incredibly enormous greyhound. At the same time, her head, heart, lungs, and feet were the same size as those of a Norwood Whippet, a breed that Wendy just happened to be. The dog weighed several times more than her congeners and also stood out because of her enormous muscles. Usually, any defect leads to a shortened lifespan, but that isn't the case with Wendy. The dog lived 14 years, just like the average Whippet, and passed away in 2017. Birdfish. If these creatures really existed and were considered the norm, would they prey on regular fish? Be sure to write your guesses in the comments below the video once you get a closer look at this birdfish. It was discovered somewhere in China. This fish had the head of a pigeon. At first, it might have looked like the fish was trying to eat the feathered creature, but things soon began to fall into place. The creature was a mutant. Surprisingly, the mutant had been fished out of the water, which meant that it still existed in its own world. No matter how stunned the fishermen were, they still released the fish back into the water and posted the video on the internet. Another kind of fisherman. This time it happened in Japan. A group of friends noticed this strange creature, which at first glance resembles a jellyfish. But people couldn't find out what exactly it was. You'd have to admit that this creature looks very creepy, and it's unlikely anyone would want to come in contact with it. But if the appearance scares you, then you haven't seen what's under the body of this creature yet. There's something there that resembles the pink eye of Sauron, or something equally epic.
There is an evil there that does not sleep.
decided not to stop, and soon did what few would have expected. First, some kind of liquid shot out of that Sauron's eye, and then the creature exploded in front of you, showering them with a strange liquid. A cat with wings. That's what you can jokingly call your favorite furry pet that jumps and hops everywhere it can, breaking furniture and making you worry. But if it's a metaphor in that case, I'll show you a real cat with wings. It was born in a Chinese town. At first it seemed most ordinary, but after a month the kitten had bumps on its back. The breeder, in front of whom all this was happening, immediately took the animal to the vet, but the latter was powerless. Moreover, even the blood tests showed that the animal was fine. Still, the breeder saw with her own eyes that something was wrong with the animal. These very bumps grew along with the cat as it grew older. Amazingly, the pet could wave them around, creating the illusion of flight. There are quite a few theories about this mutation, but according to the main one, it's a genetic disease called cutaneous asthenia. This disease causes the skin on the back of animals to become too elastic and twisted. Hit the like button if at least one of these rare animals surprised you. And while you're doing that, I'll move on to the second part of this video, in which I'll tell you about various rare animals, of which there are only a few around the world. Weeeee mannequin. Sounds unusual to say the least, doesn't it? I bet most of you have never heard of such a bird in your life. I'd love to talk more about this little beauty, but I don't think we can, since there isn't enough information about it. The bird is extremely rare and, moreover, was discovered only in 1996. At the beginning of the 21st century, scientists had only 50 individuals of this species. Positive news is that after a few years, the numbers increased by 5 times, but it's not definitely a positive trend. These birds live quite long, about 14 years. Their size is tiny. They feed mainly on plants and small fruits, and of course, on insects. It's curious to observe how this bird eats some food larger in size than itself. The males of this species are quite attractive. They're snow white plump.
When you're on a mission to craft something, logic means absolutely nothing compared to passion. You don't think about what makes sense. You just listen to your heart. You become haunted by
Plumage and red crest are very harmoniously combined to make this rare and small bird quite noticeable. Philippine crocodile. Freshwater crocodiles in the Philippines are among the most vulnerable animals. They're characterized by their small, golden brown body size, large muzzle, and thick bony plates on their backs. They also have quite an impressive jaw, with 66 to 68 teeth, which regularly fall out and are replaced by new ones. This endangered species used to really be found everywhere in the Philippines, but now there are only a few islands where they live. These crocodiles prefer estuarine and coastal habitats, as well as freshwater bodies such as ponds, marshes, and small rivers. During the day, reptiles prefer to bask in the sun. Interestingly, they open their mouths to cool down a bit if they get too hot. Another interesting fact is that crocodiles eat rocks to control their buoyancy and balance on the surface of the water, as well as to help them digest dense food. Overly popular hunting for the skin of these unique species has led to the mass extinction of the population. However, they're now threatened by another problem, the destruction of their habitat. Tropical forests are being cut down for rice paddies, as the authorities need to provide food for the ever-growing population. Philippine eagle. As you may have guessed by now, this majestic bird can only be found in the Philippines. Although the Philippine eagle sometimes spends time on forest borders and has even been found in regions where forests have been cleared, it's still a true forest raptor that hunts, builds nests, and raises its chicks only in the forest. However, its habitat is sometimes located at high altitudes. However, deforestation and conversion of forest to agricultural land is destroying much of the habitat of the species. Therefore, in recent years, eagles have been forced to live mostly on slopes, which tend to be safer as they're harder for humans to reach. The Philippine eagle is not only one of the largest of its kind, but also one of the most beautiful eagles. In the natural system of a particular region, everything is interconnected, and when one species dies out, another may disappear as well, because they could, for example, provide each other with food. The Philippine eagle is one such animal on which many other species depend. This is why it's especially important to pay attention to the eagles in order to preserve the ecosystem as a whole. Red dog. The red dog still remains at the top of the rarest creatures in the world. Moreover, it's one of the rarest of all wolves. This amazing species is classified as endangered to this day. In 1980, there were only 200 red dogs left, and every last one of them was held in captivity. The species was released in the wild in North Carolina in 1987 on the occasion of an operation to breed the species. The red dog is a wild dog, somewhere between a coyote and a gray wolf in size. As it matures, its legs, as well as its ears, become longer than those of similar species. Golden tiger. The golden tiger, also known as the golden tabby tiger, or the strawberry tiger, is a tiger with a recessive gene that causes color variations. In fact, these tigers just possess a distinctive appearance and are not a separate subspecies. The golden tiger got its unusual coloration because of a recessive mutation called Rayman. It impairs the formation of black coloring during the animal's hair growth cycle. The distinctive feature of this tiger is the light or golden hue of the coat and the red-brown stripes. Since the unusual color has no official name, it's sometimes called strawberry because of the light strawberry hue of the animal. Interestingly, such unusual appearance traits are very rare. As of today, there are less than 30 individuals of these rare tigers left, but there are many more carriers of the gene. Hainan black-crested gibbon. The Hainan black-crested gibbon is the most endangered primate, not only among all primates, but also among mammals in general. It resembles something like a toy stuffed animal because of its thick, fluffy fur and bizarre appearance. The females are golden with a black spot on top, while the males are completely black. The primate has no tail, and instead has the peculiarity of a beautiful mohawk on its head. Amusingly, the males also have a golden yellow mustache, which gives them the look of cool country singers. These gibbons are not very large. They weigh about 16 to 18 pounds and are about 3 feet tall. The species has fairly long limbs and slim build. There are only 20 individuals of the Hainan black-crested gibbon left in the world. This fact makes the species extremely vulnerable. Nevertheless, this does not prevent the gibbons from enjoying seeds and flowers, a tasty snack of figs, and insects every day. Sumatran rhino. Many rhinoceros species have faced population declines in recent history, and unfortunately the Sumatran rhino is no exception. This species can be recognized by its shaggy red hair and ability to climb mountains, but these days it's rarely seen in the wild. After the mainland population went extinct in Malaysia several years ago, fewer than 300 individuals remain on the planet. Numbers are due to terrible illegal poaching, as rhino horns can be very expensive. In addition, the horns are often used to make amulets because of the belief that they protect against any poison. However, it's not only the horns that are in demand. The dried meat of these animals is used to cure everything from diarrhea to leprosy. Besides poaching, there's another reason contributing to the extinction of Sumatra rhinos. Tropical forests in the
The holiday sales event is going on now at Legacy Buick GMC. Right now, save $7,000 off MSRP on a 22 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. Shop now and save at Legacy Buick GMC in Slidell or on the West Bank in Harvey.
Even though it's a risk and I don't know what's on the other side, I'm going to make a bet on myself. I guess I'm kind of looking at this as a sort of rebirth opportunity.
which they live are often targeted by illegal loggers. Trees are rare and valuable. It's worth noting that black rhinos are also endangered. Tree kangaroo. Another rare and fascinating at-risk animal is the tree kangaroo. It represents a serious aberration in evolution. The tree kangaroo genus inhabits the rainforests of the island of New Guinea, the northeastern part of the Australian state of Queensland, and the surrounding islands. Most species are found in mountainous terrain, although some can be found on the The genus as a whole is friendly, but not extinct. However, some subspecies have either been declared extinct or are at risk. Deforestation takes away their homes, vulnerable to predators and hunters. Yes, unfortunately, tree kangaroos are not hunted by predators, but by many locals to target them. The land they used to live on is now mostly for price. every species. Let's take a look at them too. The Zorse. The Zorse was ever was. It's also called the Plugging Animal, which Print was printed, but at some point the printer ran out of ink. Zorse is a very strange creature, only because it's yet another experiment mixing different animals. Barely an ordinary human wasn't enough. Scientists created this animal. Interestingly, humans are usually prone to dwarfism, which makes them even more akin to perfectly complete. Scientists speculate that only a complete ban on the use of fishing nets in these animals' habitat will preserve the rare species. But the prognosis is pessimistic. Most likely, the species will become extinct very soon. Due to its characteristics, the vaquita can be called not only a rare but also normal sea creatures. For years, conspiracy theorists have been trying to find the Yeti. Scientists beat them to it. It turned out that Yetis really existed. But it was necessary to look for them not on the surface, but underwater. The Yeti is a crab. The Yeti crab was one of the major discoveries of 2005 when the expedition explored the Pacific Ocean, found highly unusual creatures covered with fur at a depth of 2,400 meters. This is why they were called Yeti crabs, although the scientific name is Kua hirsuta. In fact, these crabs are not really covered with fur. Rather, these are long, thin bristles that cover the crustacean's breast. According to scientists, many bacteria live in the bristles, serve a useful function to clean the water of poisonous substances released by hydrothermal springs, near which Yeti crabs live. It's also been suggested that these bacteria serve as food for the various double octopus. If we go further down where the Yeti crab lives, we can see such wondrous creatures. It's not without reason that these octopuses are called bugs. The animal got its name because of the ear-like mouth growths protruding from the top of its head, which resembled the ears of an octopus but is yellow. It also has a scientific name, Rayman. These cute creatures live at a depth of 3,000 to 4,000 meters and are one of the rarest octopuses. They are also one of the most insidious deep-sea creatures. Despite their cute appearance, most of the time these octopuses swim above the seabed in search of food, bristleworms, and various crustaceans. Unlike other octopuses, these octopuses swallow their prey whole. That's Atola jellyfish. When we talk about jellyfish, we usually imagine a translucent, pinkish-colored creature with long tentacles. Hardly any of you can imagine such a jellyfish, right? This is because it's a rare and unique species, the existence of which most people have no idea. The Atola jellyfish boasts an interesting appearance, and in addition, it glows in the dark if it senses danger. But it emits the column of light not to intimidate, but to attract the attention of the enemy of its enemy. When a potential predator attacks, the Atola jellyfish emits light pulses. Very large fish swim to the flashes of light and immediately show interest in the predator that's attacked the jellyfish. The aggressor instantly forgets about everything because now it itself is in danger, and in the meantime, the red, crafty jellyfish has an ideal opportunity to sneak out and thus escape. The scam is all about this jellyfish. Christmas tree worm. The Christmas tree worm is the name of the universal worms, scientifically called Spirobrachus giganteus, whose shape, coloring are very bizarre. Christmas tree worms come in a variety of colors, shining white, blue, yellow, red, or white. These worms.
When you put your heart and soul into creating something, you want it. Do it. To express it. What does it take to get it? On Questlove Plus, by collaboration with makers of about many cities and discussions. The theme is the obsessive, never-ending, whatever takes journey to create something. Be sure to do it. Is their intent for creating something great? Is achievement about fitting into an established tradition or expressing yourself? When something goes against the plan, is it a mistake? A revelation? As a ballet dancer who's unconventional background, it's managed by her own partner. As the couple has dealt with these issues most of our life, we sat down together to discover a relationship between craft and perfection. I looked at it as perfect practice. Makes perfect. So, in your line of work, what is your journey to perfection?
Well, that phrase, practice makes perfect. I've had a teacher that would say to me, practice makes perfect. So it's really about what that practice is. I feel like I have a very interesting relationship with perfection, especially because that word is so connected to what we do. We're expected to be this perfect idea about being a voice in a music box, especially as a black woman. And there's so much pressure to fit into a certain that word feels like
It sounds like
yeah. And to me, it's about being the best that I can be. That I fit for myself.
subtropical regions of the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. Christmas tree worms live in calcareous tubes, which they build themselves from calcium dissolved in the water. Such tubes are characteristic of the entire Serpulidae family, to which these worms belong. The body of the worm is enclosed in the tube, and only the gills, growing from a small head, stick out. In case of danger, the animal hides the gills in the tube, covering itself with the lid. Flamingo-tongued snail. Next, we have another sea animal with an unusual name. Sounds like the name of an exotic dish, doesn't it? But in fact, it's a real snail. Fans of diving in the waters may find a 15-feet flamingo-tongued snail just there. The mollusk got its unusual name because of its bright spotted coloration. Curiously, only these soft tissue covering the outside shallow, vibrant yellowish color looks so picturesque. In case of danger, the flamingo-tongued snail hides it. By the way, these mollusks are identified by the name and color and are coral reefs where they feed on poisonous marine corals. Despite the fact that mollusks can be poison, they themselves don't suffer any damage and do not become poisonous. And finally, a fish with no less stunning coloration. The pinecone fish lives in the tropical and subtropical waters of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, where it's found on reefs and in bays. Because of its small fins and rigid scales, it's extremely slow to swim. A nocturnal fish, the pinecone fish spends the day in caves and under rocky ledges. Some divers are active South Wales reported a small pinecone fish hiding under the same rocky ledge for at least 7 years. At night, these fish are thought of hiding in mud and sand caves, eating their way with their fingernails. This mud is produced by a colony of bacteria and cells in the mud. Interestingly, pinecone fish also use light emitted by their luminescent orbs to communicate with their congeners. Do you still remember the 8-legged goat and the cat's wings? Such changes in the appearance of animals are usually caused by nature. But there's a place on the planet that's literally swarming with abnormal and strange creatures. Of course, I'm talking about Chernobyl. Let's get to know these mutants. Without a neck. Several years ago, a very strange animal was filmed in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which caused a stir on social networks. In the footage, we can see an animal that resembles either a deer or a moose. Everything would be fine or even a neck. If you look a little closer, you'll realize that the head of this creature grows right out of the torso. The video shows the animal running across the railroad tracks and hiding in the bushes. It's not known exactly what this creature was and what became of it afterward. The opinions of internet users were divided. Some thought that the camera captured a hybrid between a deer and a rabbit, while others suggested that the image show a hybrid between a horse and a cow. Considering that sometimes there are creepy and very strange animals in the footage, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these versions of the picture is possible that we've seen a mutant or a hybrid that occurred naturally. However, it's also possible that it was a actual deer or a horse. With a neck injury or a 100% mark. And here's another deer that was caught on camera installed years ago. Also, it's only presumably a deer. As in this previous case, it's not clear whether it's a deer, a moose, or another creature. But if in the previous case the creature did not have a neck, the strange beast's neck is alright, or it's even too big. The creature's head is also strange. The body of the creature looks like a deer, but the head, according to many users who watch the videos, looks more like a monkey's. What is this? Species unknown to science, which appeared as a result of the Chernobyl disaster. An ordinary deer that was consumed distorted because the camera angle was light, or something else. According to many people who have seen the video, the footage shows a deer that mutated into something strange and mysterious in the Chernobyl disaster. Do you agree with this version? Next up is the footage which was filmed by a tourist in the vicinity of Chernobyl. The author of this video started filming when he saw a strange creature crawling toward him. The author has never seen such a creature before, and probably will never either. And no wonder, because it looks extremely strange. Apparently, this animal belongs to the rodents, as indicated by the hair of the animal, its size and texture. And indeed, the creature looks remotely like a rodent. But I've heard rodents on the planet without head and limbs. Apparently, yes, they can be found in the Chernobyl area. I hope this creepy monster stays there. designated area and at one point, the driver stopped. His attention was caught by something lying in a puddle. When the guys got out of the car and took a closer look at it, they couldn't figure out what it was. A pink creature with pretty large teeth, a long tail, a long tongue, and something like hooves. Very strange combination, right? And a mark with a seal and strange teeth. The guys couldn't figure out what exactly it was. They thought it was a piglet that had mutated and became ugly as a result of radiation exposure. Or maybe it was a crocodile that appeared at the whatever the case, why were doctors such a break? Such as, you know, resolution catch in the previous creatures on board, and it was not entirely clear whether it was a piglet or something else, then things are clear with this creature. A few years ago, a video of this creature was uploaded to the internet. According to the video's author, this is a real piglet. But it's mutated very seriously. As you can see, it even formed a human-like face. You can see it even despite the not very good quality of the video. On the deformed face of the piglet, you can see a pronounced nose, chin, and eyes. Everything resembles a human face. As the authors of the video said, they found the piglet with a human face in one of the sewers of Pripyat near Chernobyl. I think we can take their word for it. After all, there is often something strange going on in sewers. Scientists repeatedly study unknown creatures in sewers. And given that Chernobyl sewers are still contaminated with radiation, it's not surprising that such a strange and unusual a few years ago, a Chinese woman came to Chernobyl on a personal tour and wanted to see the abandoned sites of the place. I'm sure she didn't expect to come across this strange creature during her tour of Chernobyl. She stumbled upon the strange creature not far from the notorious red forest, a tourist area that is reactor explosion and turned a brownish red color. Not surprisingly, the Chinese woman encountered the unknown creature there, as radiation level in the red forest area is still traveling. When the Chinese woman posted a video of the strange creature on the internet, users began to actively discuss it and further review. The creature, which looked like something made from small branches and threads, was creeping around the ground, taking all kinds of shapes. According to the tourists in China and the news, you can see another Chernobyl view up on the road. When scientists began to think the Chinese woman was able to capture a water worm parasite. Seems theory, it's not nearby without land. These creatures live in fresh water. Giant moths. Not so long ago, the blue underwing moth was spotted in the reserve located in the exclusion zone. It's one of the largest in Europe. It's listed in the red grade as an endangered species. According to scientists, it flew on its own to the scientific compartment of the biosphere reserve. This individual attracted the attention of scientists because the moth was very large. Its wingspan reached 11 centimeters, comparable to the size of a small bird. Many internet users learning about the visit of the moth to Chernobyl began to create insects, turning them into giant mutants. But in fact, it's not a true. The blue underwing is large itself. bits of black hair, under which there's cartilage. Gradually, the cartilage tissue ossifies into small horns, which then begin to grow. Bundles of black hair remain with the giraffe for several years, then they fade and disappear. Crocodile. One of the most dangerous creatures in the world. These predators have a fearsome size, incredible strength, and an indescribable speed with which they leave no chance for their prey to survive. However, while mature crocodiles are feared by almost everyone, baby crocodiles inspire no fear at all. Take a look for yourself. Many baby animals do not have the same appearance as their parents. This is caused by many reasons. Nevertheless, crocodile babies are just like their parents. After hatching, the baby's about 12 inches long, with most of the body being its head. It's also noteworthy that even at a young age, these creatures have sharp teeth. Nature wants to push them to do bad things. But while they don't hunt on everything, and while they don't understand what hunting is, they just want to be petted. After all, those big shiny eyes, clumsy little limbs, and spots shimmering in the sun will not leave anyone indifferent. But I must disappoint you. Behind this defenseless naivety and beauty, there's also a vulnerability to attack. Because baby crocodiles are helpless but relatively large in size, they're often hunted by other predators. And no matter how much an adult tries to protect its offspring, statistically, only a few babies survive. Now, knowing about this difficult fate, you can look at adult crocodiles differently. Each of them has overcome a difficult path to become such a strong and independent predator. Fawn. And this is probably one of the cutest and most adorable creatures in the whole forest. This is a baby deer, or a fawn. I mean, don't you want to hug this creature? Hold it close to you, kiss it, or scratch its back? I can't believe anyone's ever been indifferent to it. Even children can play with it because, if you don't know, baby deer are born with only 4 teeth. All of them are on the lower jaw, so it's unlikely that it'll bite you. This kind animal can often be found alone, but don't be in a hurry to approach it because often when the deer is still small, the mother may leave it alone, going for food. Knowing the mother's instinct and care for the child, you understand what an unexpected encounter can lead to. So, still, I would advise admiring the fawn from afar, even though it's insanely cute. And this is a creature which at birth is only as big as a fingernail of a person. Nevertheless, the small size is more than enough to melt even the coldest heart.
The only frozen heart around here is yours.
Meet the baby octopus. This mollusk is considered by many to be the most intelligent invertebrate in the world. By the way, did you know that octopuses have a rudimentary cerebral cortex? Scientists also prove that these creatures can feel empathy and psychological pain. But no one has figured out why this happens. However, the fact remains. In addition, octopuses also recognize human faces. But if for some reason you still don't believe in their intelligence, then here's a real story. In one of the aquariums, fish began to disappear. The zoo workers didn't understand what was going on until they did their own investigation, and only it revealed this thief to the world. It turned out that the octopus had analyzed when zoo employees were patrolling the areas. At that particular time, it constantly moved to a nearby aquarium, grabbed a fish, and got back again.
You know what I mean? You know what it